After establishing my chosen genre and target audience, I created a questionnaire for my audience to fill out and get their opinions and preferences on my short film so that they feel part of the creative process as well as influence my film to be more successful with my target audience. I asked questions such as, what is your favourite childhood memory? The aim of the question was to get examples of specific or generic childhood memories that my audience could relate to when seeing flashbacks of the protagonist's childhood. I learned that the most popular memories were milestones in life such as birthdays, learning to swim or to ride a bike, as well as simple memories such as playing football or playing in the park. Therefore, they will be able to connect with the character in the film when he is doing these things. I knew music was important, so I needed the support of my audience to confirm that the mood was right in the sad parts of the narrative. These questions reinforced my plan on having a non-lyrical soundtrack, as I assumed the audience would prefer that. When analysing my data, this proved to be correct, and more than half of the participants preferred non-lyrical music. I wanted to represent the father as a stereotypical member of the British Army, and the questionnaire allowed me to target my audience directly from what they expected from a character. The results showed that they expected him to be very muscular and keen on fitness, but absent from his son's life due to his career. As a result of this, I cast an actor that met the criteria of what my target audience were expecting of a stereotypical British Army male. Therefore, they would be able to understand and connect with the character a lot easier. After my initial questionnaire, I continued to develop the plot, working off what the audience wanted and their views of the plot, as well as conferring through questionnaires about technical elements, such as a voiceover, which is something I was worried about. In certain student short films I had analysed previously, they were poor quality and not as effective as they were intended to be. Nonetheless, a voiceover is a convention of the drama genre. After research and a vote, I was certain I did not need a voiceover, and my target audience were quite equally swayed. When the plot was developing, I gathered a group of my target audience to conduct a focus group. The purpose of my focus group was to gather a detailed insight to their opinions, to solidify my plans and ideas, from adding meaning to their views. Surveys and questionnaires are good for collecting information about people's attributes and attitudes. However, a focus group was more essential at this point to develop discussion about the film. I chose a small group of 6 people from my target audience. It was vital to keep the group small so that there were enough people to generate rich discussion, but not such a large group that any participant is left out. My focus group was structured around a set of predetermined questions. From my focus group, I was reassured about the plot, and the initial feedback was clear that the plot was simple and effective and appealed to every participant of my focus group. I was able to establish that over-shoulder shots were effective in a memory sequence. As a result of this, I used an over-shoulder shot in the son crawling towards the father, suggesting the memory is from his point of view. This allowed the audience to put themselves in the father's position. Audience feedback is particularly helpful when I was unsure about the amount of dialogue I needed to clarify the father's death and the son leaving. However, the focus group confirmed that there was no need to state the obvious, as the plot was simple. My final question in my focus group helped me establish what the target audience wanted from the music. This allowed me to make my music choices and allowed my musician to create what I wanted. After researching poster conventions, I got my target audience to vote on the designs and vote on a main title option that I provided. The comments made on each design helped me establish what the audience wanted from the poster. It allowed me to discuss colour schemes, different ideas of main images, and the effectiveness of different fonts. From the vote, Design 3 was clearly favoured due to the positioning of the boots, the bold title, and the strong military links. I also found that many of my audience members did not like having the poppy in the title as iconography, as it made the title look less professional, even though it had the links to remembrance of soldiers that had died in the war. I produced the first edit of my short film and gathered another focus group, this time of 5 people, to understand their opinions and, more importantly, decided what needed to be improved or changed. There were certain shots that they recommended I made shorter, as the sequence where the protagonist was swimming looked unprofessional, but by cutting parts it could look better. The pace of my film and my chosen effects were complemented. After I had made these improvements, I got people to review my second edit. However, by this point there were only small touches to be made on the main film, and the aim of the feedback was to ensure that my target audience approved of the short film. Overall, I have learnt that the need to consult the audience throughout every stage of production is vital, especially in planning, as it made decisions quickly for me, as well as developed ideas that I could not have made by myself. The aid of audience feedback ensures the approval of my target audience, as their morals, values, and opinions are part of the film due to their influence in the production of the film.